Welcome, Galactic family. You probably do not need someone to tell you that spirituality is not just staying positive or high. The path of enlightenment obliges us to sacrifice things that keep us from progressing, and perhaps it is with this notion that religious sacrifice was created. Most religious sacrifices throughout history have been extremely violent and perverse. But perhaps the idea of religious sacrifice originally stems from the external and even internal sacrifices we must make in the path of enlightenment. Why do we have to make these sacrifices? Because there are many things here on earth that prevent us from making genuine spiritual progress, and we should avoid these things if we are to raise our consciousness or help in awakening others. The purpose of self-sacrifice is not to guide or abandon the things we cherish unless they cause serious harm. It is to separate ourselves from destructive things and make room for healthier things that accelerate our evolution. Here are 5 things we need to let go if our goal is to follow the spiritual path without retreating from changing habits or limiting mentalities. Getting rid of them now will allow us to push hard, and eventually they will no longer influence us, eventually disappearing. 1. Negative or toxic people. I'm sure everyone knows someone who is overly negative or is constantly complaining about life, and we want to keep our distance from them for the sake of our spiritual growth. When we are close to other people, we may be unconsciously influenced by their expressions and sometimes by their explosions. If we are not careful, we may end up repeating these behaviors. We may end up frustrated with life or the people around us, and we do not even realize that we have been influenced by someone else's negativity. We are all connected through the subconscious, and the words and deeds of the people around us can affect us deeper than we realize. Knowing this, we must remember that the issue is not always black and white clear. We may have a loved one who means a lot to us but who tends to have random or not so random bursts, or his opinion on any issue is always negative, and we do not simply want to abandon him. We do not want to leave our family or people we are close to, just because of their negativity, so we need to find an intermediate way. We do not want to spend too much time with him, so we do not start being influenced. But we do not want to avoid it just because we do not like how he expresses himself. We need to stay balanced and listen to our intuition when we find ourselves in difficult circumstances. Our intuition will help us make the best and most useful decisions, including to spend time with a loved one, finding a way to be impervious to their negativity. 2. Sugary, industrialized and transgenic foods. It is no secret that our modern society is filled with cheap, fake foods with which big corporations make a lot of money while slowly poisoning us by ensuring that we get sick and fall into the other trap of consuming remedies they heal. These foods and remedies not only harm our physical health, they are also a detriment to our spiritual health, because the mind, body and spirit are one. What we put into our body affects us deeply on a mental, emotional, and spiritual level, and if we want to remain lucid throughout our day, or we want our meditations to be deeper, then clean, healthy, and preferably organic foods are our best choice. I am not one of these food radicals who tell you how to live your life. I usually eat healthy food, but sporadically I eat fake and sugary food like anyone else. I easily feel the difference between healthy and unhealthy food. The first choice gives us energy, clarity, vitality and a sense of enhanced passion, while the latter pleases our taste buds while making us feel lazy, tired, horrible, and reduces the energy of the chakras. We also need to avoid unhealthy eating habits such as overeating or late at night. We do not realize how this affects us when we are doing, but the effects will become known later when we feel bad and do not know why. 3. Lots of television or technology stimulation. Watching television is one of the most destructive things a spiritual seeker can do. Many things in this world, including TV, are meant to keep people unhealthy and, for want of a better word, stupid. Television lowers our vibration while keeping us focused on an artificial reality that is often violent, hypersexual, or simply juvenile, and smart people are not the only ones who should avoid it. Spiritual seekers will benefit greatly by avoiding TV or any other kind of technological stimulus, although they sometimes need to use technology. Most of my work is done on a computer, but when I finish working, I try to get out, go to a place to stay in touch with nature, or ride a bicycle, and I usually move away from technology. It is important to connect with nature, which can prevent the evil that technology causes, because it is our true home and provides everything we need for our survival or leisure. We cannot connect with nature if we are too busy watching TV, cell phone, or any other device that distracts us from real life. Then we need to let go of these things and rediscover a healthy reality. 4. Sloth or fatigue. Tiredness is sometimes inevitable, and we never want to feel it when it happens. However, there are motivating factors, such as laziness, which we need to be aware of if we do not want fatigue to overturn us. While the counsel of some spiritual teachers to become nothing is helpful, we also need to remain active in the midst of all spiritual practices that reconnect us with nothingness. It is important to exercise a little each day. This increases our capacity for meditation and helps to raise our vibrations. Not to mention that being active can help us find our purpose, and as soon as we find what we want to do in life, we can enthusiastically follow an active, awakening perspective instead of sitting on the couch being easily programmed to be afraid and stay away from spiritual growth. Being active is an important part of spiritual evolution, and laziness or fatigue will not disappear until we get rid of them. This requires us to get out of our comfort zone, but we will see that it was worth it when we feel better and the good vibes can flow unrestrained. 5. Suppressing negativity or avoiding the eyeshadow. We all have an eyeshadow, which is the aspect of our constantly negative, painful, narcissistic, etc. personality. Do not think I'm encouraging you to give up. I am encouraging you to give up trying to suppress this, because it is a crucial part of us that we need to embrace, heal and release. By embracing the eyeshadow, we also stop avoiding the negative situations we have to deal with in life. No matter how hard we try to be happy or aligned with our higher consciousness, there are times when we need to deal with negative situations that we prefer to sweep under the rug. How we deal with them is entirely our choice, and we can do it with grace, patience, and, most important, evenly. We have to keep our balance when we face these kinds of situations, and losing balance can make us lose emotional control by lowering our vibration. The destructive tendency to suppress negative situations or even the negativity we carry within us will suffocate our long-term spiritual growth, so let go and embrace willingly any negativity that comes our way or from within. Following along the path of enlightenment, we will find many things that we must release to the ether if we are to continue to evolve. This can be a difficult or uncomfortable process for many spiritual seekers, but it is all for a good cause, and positive change will be evident when we look back. We just have to be willing to give up things that no longer serve us, and it gets easier when we can call our higher consciousness and allow our spiritual/creative essence to act through us. Our openness to the higher self will facilitate our disciplines and sacrifices, and whether we know it or not, it is an endless source of love, guidance, and creativity that we can access at any moment. Our connection to this part of ourselves will become clearer and more refined, for we willfully discard the things that keep us from maintaining it, and the guidance we receive from our higher consciousness will facilitate future sacrifices. With that in mind, we see that our efforts really do not have to be difficult. It will be if we sort it out in our minds, but opening our mind and connecting with our intuition will help us understand that sacrifice and discipline come down to a choice moment by moment.